Hello comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings. This Hollywood handsome fella is your host, Bill Miller. Ooh, I'm very excited today because we have another 5 spec books that I feel are extremely undervalued, flying under the radar, and can be picked up for ridiculously cheap. So, without further ado, let's get to digging into some speculative comics. All right, first we have Family Tree #1. This is from 2019, written by Jeff Lemire, interior art and cover by Phil Hester. This ran for 12 issues. It's about an 8-year-old girl who starts transforming into a tree. And the family starts on a cross-country odyssey, searching for a cure. So as we know, Sweet Tooth is made into a television show, and the first season has done very well and was well received. Television and streaming types aren't the most original types of cats. So they're going to take the path of least resistance, and that is to sniff around the writer of a successful show or a comic upon which a successful show was based upon, and see what other properties they have that they might be able to capitalize on. And I think Family Tree has a lot of promise in that respect. You can get these all day long, My Comic Shop, eBay, for $3 to $5. I mean, that's less than the price of a modern comic book. So, very much so. Here's a second copy. I believe there's only an A cover for this, but very much a low-risk gamble, in my opinion. All right, next we have Project Superpowers #0. This is from 2008. It's an Alex Ross cover, interior art by Alex Ross, written by Alex Ross and Jim Kruger. It's got a really cool concept behind it. But there's a futuristic or present day without superheroes, and the USA is a dictatorship. Then Golden Age superheroes appear, and they struggle with this future version of society while dealing with ghosts from their past. So this ran for 8 issues. And it deals with public domain characters like Fighting Yank, Llama, Black Terror. So characters that here and there other comic book companies have tried to revitalize. You know, like a Dynamite or Moonstone, with varying degrees of success. But I think that the success of a non-Marvel DC superhero in Invincible has opened the door for a lot of different streaming services to look for that next non-Marvel and DC superhero line or character. And so I think that this does hold some promise based on that. Marvel and DC are going to do their thing, and they've been dominating the superhero game, and there seems to be, in some cases, an insatiable appetite for good superhero stories. And so I think that that plays well to dusting off some superhero characters that were popular once upon a time, but with modern day writing and stories, and this would fall right in line with that. capitalizing on the popularity of superheroes, but affording other streaming avenues an opportunity to have their own superheroes, because Marvel and Disney, or Marvel and DC, have their own, and they're not going to let them go anywhere, or they're going to charge a whole lot of money for anyone who wants to create shows based on them. And in this particular case, you're dealing with public domain superheroes, and the stories, with the stories, you're dealing with a very small company in Dynamite. And so a lot more affordable, easier to take a chance. So it's Project Superpowers number 0, and these are $3 to $5 all day long. There's a second copy. All right, our next one, this is the most expensive of the group, but it's still not terribly expensive. This is Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, number 1. This is from 1985, and this is the premiere issue of the second titled series of Moon Knight. This also has tells an origin story, and it debuts his, at least at that point in time, new costume. So this series ran for 6 issues. And obviously Moon Knight television show is coming out on Disney+. And so because of that, there's a lot of promise for Moon Knight, but also because of that, some of the other big appearances of Moon Knight have become very costly, very dear to purchase. Werewolf by Night 32, that one is in the stratosphere as far as prices go. Marvel Spotlight 28 is getting there, and Moon Knight number 1 from the original 1980 series is getting very pricey as well. So this would be a very good alternative, I think, a very affordable alternative to some of those other first appearances or first series of Moon Knight. Plus, a lot of people who are coming of age in the collecting hobby might have started collecting in the mid to late 80s, and this Moon Knight with this costume may be, in their mind, their idea of Moon Knight. So with this one, you can get a near mint copy for between $10 and $20. So certainly more than the others on this list, but still very affordable. That's Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, number 1. All right, next we have a relatively new comic. This is Crossover, number 1. This particular one is the second printing. Crossover is from 2020. It's an ongoing series. I believe there have been 7 issues thus far. And it's essentially about a crossover event where a bunch of fictional superheroes have crossed over into our world. So it smacks a little bit of Fables. But it's an interesting concept. I don't think the execution was carried out terribly well. It's not one of Donny Cates' stronger writing performances, at least thus far as I'm concerned. But it is Donny Cates, and he is uber hot right now with God Country, Redneck, Venom. He is just one of the most sought-after writers in comics out there right now. And so I would definitely take a strong look at any of his properties, including Crossover. The A cover is a bit pricier at between $10 and $20. This is the B cover by Ryan Stegman, who's a stablemate of Donny Cates. And this one can be had for $5. Might be able to find it cheaper. If you find the A cover out in the wild at cover price or less, snap it up. But otherwise, $5 for the B cover, I think, is a pretty good bargain. And lastly, but not necessarily least, we have Kill Shakespeare, issue number 1. This is from 2010, and there was a 12-issue run of this series. There were 3 subsequent miniseries, and ultimately, collectively, they were collected in 5 trade paperbacks. I've read most of the trades on this. Really, really good, fun, exciting read. It's got that Fables vibe as well, but it's ultimately about the heroes and the villains within Shakespeare's plays getting together to either kill or protect a man named William Shakespeare. So it sounds kind of silly, but it is an amazing, amazing read. And it's written by Connor McCreary and Anthony Del Cole. This particular cover is by Kagan McLeod. It's been optioned before, I think in 2015. Here's another A cover. Another one. Really cool B cover. But nothing happened from that option. Another B. All super affordable. This is the C cover. Another C. Another one. This is the 1 in 10 variant. And this is the D cover. This is a convention edition. Put that up there. There was a board game, came out in 2014 by Pandasaurus Games that was based on this comic book as well. But I could easily see this being made into a television show, and the original series plus the subsequent miniseries are a rich source of material for an ongoing television show. Really well crafted, really expertly written, and I think the writing would translate well from the comic medium to the television medium. So those are our 5 under the radar spec picks. Let me know what you think about them, and stay tuned for more of these. Again, we have Kill Shakespeare, number 1. And by the way, this one is $2 to $5, at least for the A cover, all day long. $2 to $5. Very undervalued, in my opinion. So that's Kill Shakespeare. We have Crossover, number 1. Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu, number 1. Project Superpowers 0. And Family Tree, number 1. And that will do it for the speculation books that we have for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. And if you did, I would encourage you to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted as soon as I release new content. Thumbs up and comments are always appreciated. And remember, we're taking over the world one comic book at a time.